Hi, it's Sandy Wyllie. Welcome to my mental health channel, Inside My Holes, where I wipe away the stigma of mental illness by talking about my own personal struggles, having borderline personality disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder. I talk about narcissism and my abusive narcissistic mother, my schizophrenic father, my struggles with anxiety and panic attacks and depression, my unethical psychologist who sexually abused me, all the different types of therapy I've been in, and a plethora of other mental health related topics. But I only come on as a former patient of almost 20 years. That's right, I've never practiced therapy. I'm not a licensed therapist. I don't have a degree in it, so I cannot offer you a professional diagnosis or opinion. All I ask in return of you is your kindness and respect in the comments below. Please be kind to me, be kind to other people who comment. We don't need to agree on everything, but we do need to agree on showing respect and kindness always. Now, if you're new to my channel, welcome. Hit that subscribe button there on the lower right hand corner because it's 100% free, and that way you'll be notified every time a new video comes out. If you like what you see, give it a thumbs up. Today I'm going to talk about something maybe some of you aren't aware of. I think I've done another video on it a long time ago. My battles with ADHD. In case you don't know what ADHD is, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Okay, ADHD disorder. Attention deficit hyperactivity. And just what it says, attention deficit. Deficit is something that a loss, okay? So a loss of attention is part of the symptoms, that you have very little attention. And hyperactivity, hyper is, low impulse control, where you're easily, you're impulsive, and low, you don't have you have a very low attention span, and you tend to be all over the place person. There's a lot more that goes into ADHD, and as I'm not here as a doctor or a professional. I'm here as a patient who has it. I didn't even know I had ADHD until very late in life, when I went to an ADHD specialist who specializes in the disorder, and he gave me a grueling number of tests over a period of a weekend, and he worked on the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, and he diagnosed me as having this. It's no surprise to me that I had it, because my husband was always after me like I never pay attention, and that's one of the symptoms. You never let me speak, you never pay attention. I never stay on task. That's another thing. I'm always jumping from one thing to another. I can never fully give all my concentration on one thing. And I have a lot of impulse control. I seem to be a scatterbrain, where my mind is, all over the place. So I kind of, I already knew at that point that I had borderline personality disorder. I already knew I had post-traumatic stress disorder. I knew at that point I had severe anxiety and panic attacks. I had depression. I was obsessive compulsive, OCD. I've done a video on that too. But I didn't know for sure. I wasn't never diagnosed with ADHD until just, I don't know how long ago it was, maybe 5 or 6 years ago. It was a while ago, that I had another thing. But I always kind of knew I was off, when my husband would get irritated with me for not listening, for being a scatterbrain, for not paying attention. I don't focus, and I never focused well in school. And this is another reason I did very poorly in school. Back in the days when I was growing up, they didn't know much about mental health. So children who had learning disabilities never got, an IEP. What is an IEP? It's an individual education plan. An individual education plan means that this person, this student, needs extra care than the rest of the class because they have some deficiencies in learning, either and there's many deficiencies in learning. ADHD is one of them. Both of my sons had IEPs, individual educational plan. One of my sons was diagnosed with ADHD, and he had a learning disability, and my other son was autistic. Alex, who now has severe traumatic brain injury, but before he got struck with meningitis and had traumatic brain injury, he was autistic. And see, nowadays they give you an individual educational plan when you're a student, which helps the students so they can do well in school. Back in my day, I did poorly in school because there wasn't those plans. People weren't aware of, of mental illnesses or learning disabilities or things that would, require that a student need extra help and get that help. So I knew, like, on the job too, I just knew that there was something off with me, but my mother never believed in taking me to a psychologist or to try to find out, if there was any help I could get in school. All the teachers said, is there something wrong with you? That's what they said. They never investigated it. They never looked into it. They just, they just asked me, I'm a little kid. That's kind of crazy, right? Is there something wrong with you? Why can't you pay attention in class? I would just zone out in class all the time. As a result, I almost dropped out of high school. I did graduate high school and I got an associate's degree in a community college, but I didn't do very well. And the community college was a very, very easy college. I took very, very easy courses. They were probably the equivalent of, like, my high school was harder than, Mass Bay Community College. Anyone ever? Have you been to Mass Bay? It might have changed. I graduated, when did I go to I graduated in 1985 with an associate's degree in early childhood education. But it was very, very easy, and I could take the courses I wanted to. There wasn't any, like, algebra or, geometry or biology. It was pretty easy to get that associate's degree. My high school was much harder. But what makes it better or easier, I don't want to say easier, what makes it, it's better to be in the light than in the dark, It's better to know, yes, this is what I have, and this is the reasons why I act like a scatterbrain, and this is the reason why I can't concentrate on what I'm doing, and this is the reasons why I didn't go on for my bachelor degree. If I had known this, I could have got some extra help, and you can get extra help in college too. It's not just grade school or high school. You can get extra help if it need be in college, or maybe if I got that extra help in high school, I could have done better, and I could have went on to get a bachelor degree. I never did get my bachelor's degree, and it's kind of the golden standard. It's like a high school diploma now. Your bachelor's degree is kind of, what you like the bare minimum of what you need, and most people go on for their master's because you can get much. The pickings are slim with just a bachelor's. You can get much more advanced in your career if you have that master's degree. But then it was like when that doctor diagnosed me with that, that's all I saw him for. It was only like, I don't know how long, maybe a month, if that. It wasn't long I saw him. I just got diagnosed with that, and that was it, and sayonara and to him. Because that's all he concentrated on. All he concentrated on was ADHD. And I had a big, as you all know, I have a big broad spectrum of problems, and just concentrating on that little fraction, you know, I didn't really, he was very clinical. No, and I didn't trust him either. I didn't trust anyone. But it was like an aha moment for me, because then I realized, now I understand why I have such a great difficulty staying on task. With whatever I do, it's very hard for me to stay on task. I get distracted very easily, you know. I can't stay focused. And in school, it was very difficult for me, because I would get very antsy and edgy and, you know, very irritable. I couldn't just, you know, study. I couldn't like calm down and study. I was all over the place. And I wish it would have helped me if I had known that I had this. It would have helped me immensely, because I could have probably got some, you know, some extra help. Had an individual educational plan at some point. I don't know when they brought that into effect, but and there's a lot of help for that, and I think there's drugs for that too. I don't know if any of you do have ADHD or know someone who has ADHD, but I know that they, you know, there's therapy and there's drug treatments for it. Of course, I'm not in any drugs and I don't do any therapy, so. Does it affect me nowadays? Only when my husband talks to me. As you know, I have no friends, so only because my mind races and I keep thinking, like, I need to say this, I need to say that. You know, when he talks to me, I'm not really paying attention to him, because my mind is racing all over the place. Other than that, because I really don't talk to anyone else, so I guess it doesn't affect my involvement with other people. I'm very impulsive. I like to jump from one thing to another real fast. I'll go from how can I say it? I'll go from one task to another task, and I'll never really fully you know, complete. Like my husband will say, slow down, do it right. Like in painting the house or something, I just want to get it done. I want to get it done. If I'm painting a room, I'll get, like I stain the bathroom and the bedroom doors. I stain the doors, and I just want to jump from one door to the other. I won't take my time. I'll scatter the stain all over the wall, all over the place, and I won't prep right, because I'll be very hyper and just very anxious to get it done and run to the next thing. I gotta make dinner. I'll run to the next thing, and I won't do the job right, because I'm just so, you know, hyperactive. You know, to get it over with, to jump to the next thing, then to jump to the next thing. You know. It's like, instead of doing something thoroughly and slowly and correctly, you see what I'm saying? I'm just so anxious to get it done that I never do a good job at whatever it is that I'm working on. And so, in that case, you know, I've done some things that are sloppy looking. And then I never can sit still. That's another ADHD thing. Like, I've been very sick. I've been very sick. Okay, let's put it that way. I might not look sick to you, but I've been up all night very, very sick for days now. And here I am this morning. I'm out mowing the grass, because I just can't sit still. Even though I'm very sick and I don't feel good. I got to put out another video, because I do a video every day. What will they think of me if I don't put out a video? People will drop out and start unsubscribing. I got to do that. I got to, you know, I got to clean. I got to do the yard. I got to mow the yard. Even though I'm very sick, I got to go to the laundromat today, and I got 3 loads of laundry. I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to do that. I'm all over the place. And, I'm sick. I just can't, like, take a sick day. I just can't say I'm sick. I'm going to stay home. I'm not going to do a video. I'm going to, I'm going to lay on the couch. But I'm laying on the couch, and, like, 10 minutes later, I'm jumping up and I'm saying, oh, my God, unless I'm, like, completely dying, like hospitalized or something like that, I just find it very hard just to sit down because my mind races. And my mind is always overthinking, like constantly spilling out material like a reel, going over and over and over and over again, like playing that same movie reel over and over and over. And my mind isn't quiet, I'm not quiet inside my head. This is how it is for me having ADHD. I'm not quiet inside my head. My thoughts are racing like on a racetrack, they're racing. And I can never like calm. That's why I drink the wine in the evening, because the wine kind of like, the wine like numbs it down, numbs the racing thoughts, the scatterbrain. It just kind of like slows me down like that. And I'm guessing that's what the medication for ADHD probably have the same kind of effect on the mind of slowing that down. But it's been a challenge, having mental health issues today is much better because, like I said, they have things available today. People are much more intelligent. People are much more aware of these things. They have those IEP plans for students that are going through this. So there's a lot of help out there, for people. And so that wasn't there in my day, I kind of like missed the boat on it. But I'm coping with all of this the best I can, and I realize that I have this, and sometimes I do try to slow myself down by being in nature. That's one way, other than drinking, that's positive, like taking walks in the woods, by the river, by the lake, and just enjoying, this is peaceful to be outdoors. It's always peaceful for me, and that kind of slows me down a bit too. So that's what I just wanted to share that about my ADHD. And music too is another thing that I haven't listened to music a lot because sometimes music makes me more hyper. Do you ever feel that? They say music is supposed to calm you down. To me, it doesn't, because songs always remind me of someone that's hurt me, and then it just makes me more depressed and makes me more anxious, and it just gets my heart racing more. So music doesn't usually always help me. I know it helps a lot of people, but with me, not so much anymore. I notice that it makes me more emotional and more hyper, and yeah. All right. Sometimes it's difficult for me to sit down and even read a book because I'm so hyperactive. I can only sit down and read for so long because I have ADHD. I just can't concentrate. It's very hard to read. You have to concentrate when you read. So I only have so much attention that I can give to that task. It's very difficult for me. But I still love to read anyway. I love to read about people's lives the most. Memoirs, biographies, autobiographies. But I can't read for a very long time because I don't have the patience because of my ADHD to sit there and, concentrate on a book. But I try. I do it as long as my body will tolerate me doing it. Oh gosh. Anyway, let me know in the comments if you have ADHD, if you know anyone else who has ADHD, if you know any helpful tips of how people cope with ADHD. Do you have any of my symptoms? You scatterbrain? Is it hard for you to concentrate? Are you impulsive? Do you not, you can't stay focused? It's hard to stay on task with something, and you usually want to rush through something and end up like, and on a vacation too. That's another thing. The ADHD on a vacation. I get so hyper that I like, oh my God, when we went to Paris, I was jumping from one thing to the next. We could, because of my hyperactivity, I couldn't enjoy, like when we went to the Louvre, I kept yelling up and down, "Where's the Mona Lisa? Where's the Mona Lisa?" I even asked a French man who worked there, and he went, like Americans, really? That's what he did. He went, just like that. He probably thought, here's this beautiful big museum with millions of pieces in it, and all you care about is the Mona Lisa. But I was running like a chicken without a head on. I can't enjoy vacations because of my ADHD. The only vacation I can really enjoy is a beach vacation. Because the ocean is another thing. It's water and it's soothing, and there's no, when you go to something like a city like Paris, there's a lot to see and a lot to do. And because of that, I'm all over the place, and I can never take anything in slowly and enjoy it. My husband says, I never enjoy vacations with you because you always do this. You always rush off like a chicken without a head on, and, it's always rush, rush, rush. Get through this, get through that, and never really, take the time to slow down and enjoy it. That's my biggest problem. That's why I'm not a good person to go on vacations with either. That's another thing. It's like rush, 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 to get there. Rush, 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 do this. Okay, let's do that. Okay, rush, rush, rush to get to this thing, do that thing, and it's never like, you can never just like enjoy the moment. Be present, be in the moment. I can never be in the moment. And I think that's because of my ADHD. A lot more I could say, but I think I've said enough for now. And until next time,